So when an elephant is small and being trained either to stay within its village, the refuge, or way back when they used to train them for the circus, and that we've changed all that, thank you, God. But all that said, when they were trained, they would have a little rope that would connect to a stake, and when the little elephant would want to go wandering off, then the pull of that rope, obviously, then they would stop. But a very interesting phenomena is that as the elephant became huge, to the point that it could probably move a building or, a small car, when it would feel the tug on the rope from that stake, well, it would absolutely stop. It would not resist, you see, because it had been programmed accordingly that when there's a pull, it's time to stop. So what I want to address today is the rope or the ropes that are in your life, that from the very beginning of your life, you see, you started to be programmed. Good, bad. You get rewarded for certain behavior. Santa Claus might come, Tooth Fairy. Tooth Fairy. See, I don't read a script, and I certainly don't read a teleprompter, so now that's obvious. We've cleared that, okay? We have ropes in our lives that we go to a certain place, and we feel the tug. This is a part in this 7-week series that I want to address, and I want to address at a deep level with each and every one of us, including me. Because early on and in the masses, we still have traditional Christianity programming people to believe certain things, to teach people how limited they are, that they need to be programmed, that they can't be free. You see, we are here and created in the image and likeness of God, as Jesus came through to say, you've been taught working with the laws the wrong way, and I'm here to set you free. And I'm here to teach you how to work with laws that you can be independent, that you can be self-reliant, that you don't need anything or no one because you have this emerging energy in you. And the only things you have in your life, if you are living with these laws, are the things that you've chosen to have and keep close to you. Because you always have the independent value called choice, yes? And you can make a decision about it. And you're going to have moments in your life with programming, with education, a dated system, with the teaching of the Bible in the way that it's taught is a dated system, with the way that we're taught. With these kind of paradigms, you're always going to feel the tug of the rope, but you realize you can keep going. You do not have to stop. You keep moving, and you keep pushing, you see. So all that said, I think of this little boy named Timmy. He's 5 years old. And he's now just lives real close to the school, and his mom takes him to school every day. And then along the way, he said to his mom after the first week, he said, "Mom, I don't really want you walking with me anymore. I'm a big boy." So she thought to herself, well, I'm a worrier. And so she had a neighbor named Mrs. Goodness. And so she talked to her, and she said, "Look, I know I see you walking every day with your daughter, and I wondered, would you, kind of don't get too close, but stay behind my son and just make sure he gets to where he needs to get safely." And so therefore, then Mrs. Goodness and her daughter, Marcy, then they follow behind little Timmy every day. So a few days goes by, and one of his friends walking with him said, "Are you aware that we're being followed?" He said, "Oh, yeah, absolutely." He said, "As a matter of fact, my mom every night reads to me Psalms 23. And it says at the very end, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I just have to get used to it." And so that's what I want you to hold for you, is that this goodness and this mercy is going to follow you all the days of your life. You can't stop it. You can't keep it from you. You can't eliminate it. Any choice you've made, any decision, any guilt of a rope that you don't need to have, any belief in some kind of life thereafter, whatever it is, goodness and mercy, it follows you. It's in your essence. It's in your energy field. It's in the air that you breathe. It's about everything that you are in this containment that we call life. And it's very important that you sit with realizing the goodness of your life. Knowing that is your reward. You don't need external awards. You need to know who you are inside yourself, that you have always been birthed of goodness, and there's nothing else that you could ever be. And any other rope that you're carrying in your life, you can let that go. There's no place of punishment. There's no place of punishment. Wow, everybody breathe, everybody breathe. You know, there's this flight attendant that goes up to John and says, you know, John, would you like to have a meal on the plane? And he said, well, what are my choices? And she said, yes or no? Right? You never know what people are going to like. Anyway, Bishop Carlton Pearson says, let's look at this thing called the devil. Do you believe in the devil? Yes or no? In unity, we would say absolutely, and in science mind, absolutely not. No, we absolutely do not believe in a devil. We believe there is a power for good in the universe, and we can use it. We use it by the way we live and move and have our being. We live by our choices, you see. If you look at the word devil, it's the word lived, spelled backwards. Which if you had something that could be working against you, it probably could be past paradigms that continue to guide your life. It could be probably old ideas of comparing who's with you right now to who you were with 25 years ago. No fair. That could be something. But if you say absolutely no, then I want to ask you, have you said this week that something or someone is against you? Got real quiet, didn't it? Have you said this week that something or someone is working against you? So I would invite you to check that rope out, to see if it's not coming from a fundamental subconscious energy, you see, because it's called race consciousness. And so before you know it, when you get into this language and you get into these conversations, some old paradigm of belief is coming in, you see, because you are here to be wealthy, healthy, beyond words, ageless, dynamic, energetic. Now, did I say that you would never have a problem? Did I say that? No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. Of course you will. You're in a human suit. You're going to go through things. But when you face each situation that it's for you instead of against you, then the whole experience transcends and shifts right there in the midst of you, right? I was thinking about Edwin Gaines. I adore her. And I'm thankful for all the work that she's done in humanity to have a different skill set when it comes to success and prosperity. And she said her newest thing is to say, I forgive myself for all the blessings that I have held from myself in the past. Shall we? I forgive myself for all the blessings I have withheld from myself in the past. So we open up to that, you see. Buddha said whatever is best, that there's an energetic field that's working with you. I had an experience happen a couple of weeks ago where in the morning going downstairs, I get my reader glasses to read or do certain things. And so I pick up my reader glasses out of the drawer where they always are. And I brought them with me today because they're orange. They match with my outfit. But they're orange. And so I put on my glasses and I start doing a couple of things on the little computer phone, walkie-talkie, whatever we call it now. And I'm kind of engaged in it, you know. And I realize I can't even see that. Gosh, I can't see. what in the world? It's so blurry. And I go over to the light, and like, I can't see it. And I ask the cat, can you see it? I can't see it. So, I'm baffled by it, and I think, well, did I leave my contacts on last night? Did I leave them on, and that's why it's blurry? So finally, I listen to my intuition, imagine, and I go to the drawer, and I get another pair of glasses, and I can see beautifully. The sun's out, and everything's bright, and I can see everything clearly. And by this time, BB walks in, and she goes, those aren't yours? And I go, no. What do you mean they're not mine? She said, oh, well, I saw a pair at the church, and I thought they were yours, and I brought them home. I went, well, those are somebody's that doesn't need that kind of magnification like I do. And we need to get those back. So what I'm saying to you is that you've got to keep the right kind of glasses on. You've got to magnify. You see, you've got to magnify what's coming your way. You've got to magnify your knowing. You got to magnify the truth, your principles, because you're going to hear this in the background. You're going to dive into that 24-hour news, that scarcity, that lack, that fear, that stuff, there's not enough and all that. And you got to pull on those glasses to say, no, wait a minute, here I am. I don't have that rope anymore. I'm free. I don't need anybody being successful before me in this area. I'm going to create a whole new idea of success. No, I don't need to know that somebody was healed from this condition. I'm going to give it a whole new reality and transform it in such a way that it's a new and second coming of life. It's so misunderstood about the second coming anyway. You are the second coming, and you're it. And so how are you coming in the second time in your knowledge of your life? And that's what the second coming means, is that the second time around, you start working with the laws that we've been told over and over again that really work and work naturally. Are you with me? Because so we work with that. I'm thinking of Reverend Ron, one of our Science of Mind ministers, that not too long ago, I've been kind of really sitting with this when I'm having family time, when I'm having me time, when I'm having beach time, when I have which task to pick first time. And I remember what he said, that you get to the afterlife and a group of people are there and they ask you, how was heaven? How was heaven? How was it? Heaven isn't a place you're going to, you just came from there. How was it? Did you notice? Did you delve into it? Did you demand more of it? Did your soul allow more to happen and the power and the presence? How was heaven? Wow, very powerful. A little boy made an appointment with me about 14 years ago by his grandmother, Judith Ando. Some of you may remember Judith. And he said he wanted to have an official appointment with me. And so he came out in the reception area, had his little suit on, had his little tie, had his little clipboard, and I thought, wow, this is going to be something else, So we go back in my office. He was so serious. And he said, Reverend Temple, recently my grandfather died. And he said, and I've really been trying to understand what happens to us when we die. And I said, what do you feel happens to us when we die? He said, well, I got a clear message that when we die, all the people we've ever loved in our lives, when we die, we're all going to live in the same house. And at first I thought, wow, isn't that exciting? And then I thought, wow, put that together in your mind. And my takeaway was like unto how I still feel. What you believe is going to happen to you is going to happen to you. And I went, good for you, buddy. Who knows? Maybe we'll wind up in that same house and not really sure. You see. Okay, here we go. Carlton Pearson, being the beautiful bishop that he is, having the courage that he did to transform and break through things, would tell the story in the book about how his father, as an elderly man, cried when he told his dad that his parents were not in hell. Wow. Don't you think we have a few ropes left? Some ropes to let go of in 2019, some ropes that keep people from being free. He would go on to say that the word sin is an acronym, separated in nature. Separated in nature, you see. And so sin is an old archery term. We've all heard that. It means missing the mark. That's all it means, right? And you have people that are just in ropes because it's like, oh, they told me I can't do this. They can't tell me, oh, and I can't do that. I can't do this. And it's repression. It's repression. And part of the work that we're doing, not only with the Never Alone movement, but with our teaching all the time, is that we're teaching people to let that go. We're teaching you that don't be separate from nature. You are nature. And there's nothing that nature made that you can be separate from because it is you. And it impacts you, and you can feel it, and you can experience it. When children grow up with the appreciation of nature, they grow up with appreciation of themselves. They grow up with sacred life with their neighbors and their friends and the animals. It's just not rocket science. It's just simple common sense of not feeling separate from nature. When we're feeling like our life isn't working, we ask the question, how am I feeling separate from nature? Let's practice. How am I feeling separate? How am I feeling separate from nature? A man one time asked this monk, how do I know the difference? What is heaven and hell? So the monk said, let me show you. And so he takes him to this circle, this fire. They're gathered around in the circle, like one of the solstice, probably Reverend Kimberly does. And so there's a big bowl, big pot of soup that's in the middle. And they have these long spoons. And they're reaching with these long spoons, and they get a big old scoop of soup. And they're so long that they can't bring them back and put it in their mouth. And the man says, that's hell. They have everything they need to be fed, but they're going to starve to death. But let me show you heaven. Here they are. They have the large spoon. They scoop up the soup. They feed one another. Feed one another. Feed one another. That's why we do spiritual community. You can read books and stay at home. Yet there's a vibration that you become part of a vibratory field that will lift you, that will allow things to work with you at a cellular level. It will work with your subconscious. Even for the ones that sit out there and go, I'm not really sure about all that. It's okay. We got you. Because we run an energy on you. We're running Reiki on you. We're running love on you. We're running that energy on you because we know you deserve to stand up for yourself, you see. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I hear a lot often about forgiveness. And I know that for some ministers, they put it in, fourth Sunday of the month or something like that. People think about forgiveness. Forgive means forgive. It's the opportunity for you to give to yourself. Forgive. But often when you think of forgiveness, people think of forgiving someone else. And when you bring up the word forgiveness, people start elbowing each other. I don't have anything. I've worked through that. I did 12-step, 20-step. I got it. I did the work. They think of that. I want to invite you to think about another rope today. I want to invite you to look at the fact of forgiving yourself for doubting the Creator that creates you. I want you to work with that concept this week. I want you to look at how, if any ways, do you need to forgive yourself for doubting your Creator that created you. And forgive the Creator for placing upon the Creator a personality of limitation and lack of possibilities, right? But to hold sacred what you really believe about the law of creation. Because the law of creation, which is always creating, which is always working, responds to who you are and what you say, the power of your word. So when you say, oh, nobody appreciates me, I didn't get noticed, the Creator goes, bring it on. No appreciation, no notice, bring it on. Or somebody walks up to you and goes, gosh, you are phenomenal. You go, me? There comes that creative law. Oh, not comfortable with compliments. Oh, not comfortable with a lot of money, complains about it. Too much responsibility. Whew, creation. You see where I'm going? We are the ones all along, and this is either a yes or no question. We either believe this stuff or we don't. Because with creation, it is taking everything that we are saying, and it is creating for our lives that which we have stated to be true, and the universe goes, and so it is. So if you want any more or different in your life, then you want to speak different into your life and speak different about you and hold that space, because it is you that is evolving into the new paradigm of who you are. And ropes do not apply. They don't apply. Thank you for coming today. Glad you're here. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.